Yesterday we discussed about calculating the 70 years. So the Gemara asks a question. There's a stirim psukim. So the Gemara asks, Mikol Makom, 2, 4, 5 lines into the Yud Beis. Mikol Kosher Kra Dodi. We have two psukim which seem to be contradictory. Why? Because it says 70 years from Bavel. That's how you calculate it, meaning when Bavel took power. And the other pasuk says, L'chorvos Yushalayim. We count the time when Yerushalayim was destroyed, which was later. That was the basis for the miscalculation. So how do we reconcile it? Omar Rava Lepkido Ba'alma. It means when it says, when the 70 years before Bavel, how does he interpret the word Lepkido Ba'alma?
Ascendancy over the Jews.
Okay. Meaning they'll have control over us for 70 years. Okay? Okay. What did Koresh, the king Porus, say? And he gave me the charge to build Livnos Lo Bayis B'Yushalayim. Dorsh Rav Nachman, Bar Rav Chisda, Dorsh Rav Nachman, Rav Chisda, Ma'idich Siv. Ko'on leMishicho leKoresh. Hear this? Hashem had said to his Mashiach, to his anointed one Koresh, the Gemara is asking, Asher Zakti B'Yamino, which I supported his right hand. So Gemara asked, Koresh Mashiach Haba? Was he anointed? Koresh was a Persian king. Hashem had said to his anointed one Koresh. Koresh is not the anointed king. Only a Jew is anointed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mashiach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Mashiach, Kovel ani lochal Koresh. I'm pained. I'm complaining to you about Koresh. And the Amati Hu Yivne Beisi, the Kabitz Kolos. I originally gave him the charge that he should rebuild the Beis HaMikdash, and he should bring back the exiles. And he ignored me. Mi bochem mikolam uviyoal. Let's see the pasuk. Hey. Mi bochem mikolam ye Hashem elokav imo val Yushalayim asher b'Yehuda vayiven es beis Hashem elokeinu hu elokim asher b'Yushalayim. He says, whoever among you, let Hashem be with you. Meaning, he says, I wish you well, but I'm not getting involved. That's what he's saying. Meaning, so therefore, Hashem was complaining to Mashiach, here I gave Koresh the ability and the opportunity to do it, and he's ignoring it. He's not interested. Okay. It says in the Megillah, Chel Poras Umodai Hapartimim. So now, the exile is called the Persian Poras Umodai, Persians and the Medes. Okay? So in the first pasuk it says Chel Poras Umodai. So what's Chel? Chel means the power. So Poras is juxtaposed to Chel and Modai is later. Then it's a Uksiv Lamalche Modai Poras. Then it says Modai is mentioned before Poras when it speaks the kings of Modai and Poras. So why in regard to the power it says Chel Poras is mentioned before Modai, and when it speaks about kings, Modai is mentioned before Partimim, or before Poras. Omerova, like this. Asnu Yasnu Badodi. They had an agreement between the two of them. Modai, the Medes and the Persians. Iminon Malchi Minach Ifrachi. If we choose from among us the kings, the dukes will be from you. Viminachul Malchi, and if they choose from you the kings, Minon Ifrachi. Meaning we have to divide the power. If you're the kings, we're the dukes, and if we're the dukes, you're going to be the kings. What did he display? Displayed Kvod Malchuso, the honor of his kingship. Okay, Dalid, the Bach, Veshikor, Omer Rabbi Yossi Bechinim Lam Shalom Shbik Dekuni. This he put on the priestly vestments of the Kohen Gadol. Ksiv Hocha. How do we know he put on? How do we know that Kvod Malchuso is referring to he put on the vestments of the Kohen Gadol? Ksiv Hocha Yikar Tiferes Gduloso. It says the preciousness of the glory of his greatness. Ksiv Hosam L'Chavro Tiferes. It says when Aaron bore the big dekun, it says it should be for honor and for glory. Umalosei Yom Megilah. And then it says when days were up, what did he do? He made a banquet. Rabu Shmuel, Charom HaMelech Bikei Choyo. One says he was a wise king. He's wise. Charom HaMelech Tipish Choyo. He was a fool. One said he was wise, the other one says he was a fool. What's the argument? Mandi HaMelech Bikei Choyo. Because when he made the party, who did he make the party for? It said he made the party for the people, not his local people, for the outlying provinces. He invited them to Shushan for the party. Now, if you have people who are city dwellers close to you, who do you service first? Who do you celebrate first? With the people who are in town. You don't bring people from the outlying provinces. So he says, no, but that was being so why? Shape Ovat, the Korev Rechiko, Bereisha, because he wants to ingratiate himself with those who are far away first. That he wants to secure those who he doesn't have that close relationship with. The Bnei Masei, Koleim is the boy Mephiaslu, because the people of his community, anytime he wants to appease them, he can appease them. If he sees any level of unrest, he'll bribe them. The ones far away, they're too far away. They're not he's not under his supervision. And the one who says that he was a fool, he should first secure the members of his own city first. Why? The Mardu Bey, Hanoch, because if the outlying regions should rebel, Haba Kaimi Badei, the people who are close to him, they'll support him, they'll back him. But if the outlying regions that they should rebel, so what's he going to do? He's not going to have any allies, close allies. Why speak? Whenever we speak about something very negative, we speak about our enemies. Why were the enemies of Israel liable for annihilation of their generation? I mean, the Jews, why did they deserve, why was there a decree of Lahash Milarag Labed? Omalem, Imratem, so Shimchai says to his Talmudim, what do you think? You say yourselves, Omar they Shenen Musadosa Shalosa Russia, because they benefited from the banquet of that Russia. Okay? That's the reason why. They deserve to be annihilated. Okay? So the question is, the food at the banquet was kosher. The wine was kosher, because we see the wine stewards at the banquet were Haman and Mordechai. The Gemara is going to say in a moment. So what if they benefited from the Sudas Shalosa Russia? I mean, why did they deserve? I mean, even Rosh Hashanah, he refutes what they say by saying, if that's the case, only the Jews in Shushan should have been destroyed, not all the Jews. It's evidently clearly that's not the reason. But what's wrong? Everything they ate was kosher. I invite you to go to a kosher restaurant. You're going to what? What's the claim against the person? What about if I invite you to a kosher restaurant? We're going to celebrate the death of all the Israeli soldiers that were killed. What does that say? But the food's kosher. You know something? You don't deserve to live. You're rejoicing over my pain. What was the banquet? The banquet of Achashverosh was God reneged on his promise. You Jews are not coming back. He says he's bringing you back. He's not bringing you back. That's what you're rejoicing. You're rejoicing about Achil Hashem. That's what you're rejoicing. So rather whether the food is kosher or not. That's why you deserve to be destroyed. So now Rosh Hashanah says, okay, those who participate in that, they deserve to be destroyed. What do all Jews? This was every man, woman, child, wherever they are in the world, deserve to be destroyed. In Cain, Shebeshushan Yehorgu, Shebecholam Kula Yehorgu. So the Jews in Shushan, they should be killed. Why the Jews throughout the world should they be killed? Omru Lo, so they said to him, Emor Ato, so good. We don't understand. Let's hear what you tell us. Nebuchadnezzar made an image, a statue of himself, and he decreed that every subject has to bow. Every Jew bowed except for who? Hanan, Mishael, Azariah, and Daniel. Daniel was thrown into the lion's pit, and 3 Jews, they went into the kiln. Every other Jew bowed. So because they bowed to the statue, which is equivalent of idolatry, therefore they deserved annihilation. If that's the case, they deserve to die. So why did Hashem annul the decree? When they bowed, Rashi says it was only out of fear. Not that they gave it any value. It was only purely going through the motion. It's not that they believed for a moment that it had any value. God was only a facade of the death of annihilation. It was going to be, but Hashem never intended. So here the Maharsha says, beautiful. He says, Lo'ona milibo, what's the pasuk here? Kilo ino malko v'yikach v'neyish. Kilo ino milibo, meaning like this. When one does tshuva depends on what? On your mind, on your emotion, right? What you feel in your heart. Do you have remorse, don't you? If they truly would have done it because they gave it any value, there's no going back. They deserve to be destroyed. Over here, what was it? It was outward. But they still did the wrong thing. A Jew has to give his life even mitachonos, even if you don't believe in it. So therefore, Hashem says, Kilo ino malibo, as long as you, in the heart, you make the correction in the heart, it's sufficient. So because it wasn't really, it appeared as idolatry, as if they were worshiping the idol, but they didn't worship it. Because in the heart, what was it? In the heart, they were faithful to Hashem. It says, where do you have the banquet? B'chatzar, ginas, bisan hamelech. So now the question is, chatzar is what? That's a courtyard. Ginas is a garden. Bisan that's actually in the palace itself. So was the banquet in the courtyard? Was it in the garden? Or was it in the palace itself? Rabu Shmuel, it's machlokas. Charomar, haroi l'chotze chotze. There were different echelons of society. People who were only at a level that they deserve to be in the courtyard, they put them in the courtyard, right? Haroi lagin lagino, and one who was of a status, he should be in the garden. He was in the garden. No, they talk about the rose garden. Who does he invite to the rose garden, right? All these cannibals, right? That's who he invites there. Haroi lebisan bisan, and one who was of greater status, they were invited into the palace itself. Charamano. Hoshim b'chotzer. He started the banquet outside in the chotzer. He had such an overflow crowd, v'lo hechzikoson, right? It wasn't able to contain the crowd. Begino. So he moved them. He put them in the gino, in the garden. V'lo hechzikoson. Even the gino wasn't sufficient. Achichnison lebison, until he had to finally bring them into the palace. V'chizkoson, and the palace had the capacity to contain them, right? The Javits Center, whatever you want to call it. B'masnisa tonu, we learned we learned in the Braisa, Toshivim b'chotzer, Braisa is differently. The banquet took place in the courtyard, uposlem shnei psochim, and with two entrances to enter into the courtyard. What was it? Echod legino, one entrance opened onto the garden, ve'echod lebison, the other entrance opened onto the palace. It was like in between the two. Then it says in the Megillah, chur karpas utchelis. What was it? What was the decor? What was the decor of the palace? It was chur, karpas, utchelis. My chur. What's the meaning of the word chur? Well, not ravoma chori chori, meaning they had. It was something which was it was knitted. It was like crocheted, where you have holes, similar to like in the Beis Hamikdash. You had the curtains were wrapped around in the chotzer, in the courtyard, right? Shmuel Amar milas levono itzi lefneim. So they're arguing, does the word chor come from the word hole? Hole, meaning it was knit away, it was like netting. It was like netting. Or it comes in Aramaic, the word chiver means white. It was white silk. The fabric was white silk. Okay? That's the argument. What's the meaning of karpas? Nothing about to say it here. Karpas. Okay? Omer Rav Yosef B'chinio, karim shel pasim. Cushions of pasim. How does he explain pasim? What? Fine wool. Okay? Aglile kesef v'amudei sheish. What does that mean? They were glile kesef and pillars of sheish, marble. Mitos zov v'chosev. And the beds were gold and silver. So were they gold or they silver? Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer haroi lekesef kesef. Well, as precious metal, silver is less precious than gold. So a person was at a lessest level. The bed that he was put on was made of silver. Haroi lezov zov, the one who was more advanced as in society, he was given a golden bed to lie in. Omer of Nechemiah came out to Matal Kina Besuda. He says, if people feel, amongst persons, so immediately he's identified. You're this and you're that. Elohim shel kesev raglev shel zov. Meaning the bed itself was made of both. The bed itself was made of silver, but the legs were made of gold. Right? It was a combination of both. Then it says bat v'sheish. It was bat. What's the meaning of bahat? Omer avasi avonim shechotos shemschatos abaleim. The floor had inlaid in it stones, semi-precious stones, that actually it's something which the owner has difficulty finding. They were like precious stones, Natan dam, whatever it is. Chenu omer avnei nezer misnosus al moso. The stones that are nezer, which means which are not available, are protruding from the ground. How does he explain that, pasuk?
Obtainable after many trials over his life.
Okay. Meaning, yeah. What's v'darvis uchores? Rabba madori dori. They were set up in rows. The people. You go to the Hasidic chasnas. They have these tables that are about 2 feet wide, and they put the plates and they sit on both, and they just rows and rows of people. Yep. Okay. Shmuel Amar Even Tova Yesh B'Kroche Yom V'Dorishma. Yeah. There's a stone that you find out in the islands in the sea. The stone is called Dora. Hoshiva Be'emtza Suda Me'ira Lehem L'Kutzarayim. The stone gave off a light, generated its own light, and illuminated the banquet as if it was midday. It's interesting. It's interesting. Rashi, it says, Tzor Tasas Ateva, right? When Noach built the table, it says Tzor. So there's two pshat in Rashi. It's based on the Gemara. One, Tzor means a window, and the other Tzor means to let light in. It was a stone, and this stone gave off light that illuminated the whole table. Okay? There it's called, not sapphire. It has to contract light from somewhere else. Doesn't say sapphire. It was called Tzoar stone. It was called the Tzoar stone. The word Tzoar means an illuminating stone. So he's telling this stone, it's called Dora. Dora. Right? Maybe that's where the name Dora comes from. No? Because she shines. Okay? What's Dor? He exempted all, he removed all taxes. All merchants, they didn't have to pay tax. Hashkos b'chleizov, they drank from golden vessels. The kelim shonim, and the vessels, what's shonim? It should say mishunim bolei. They were not the same types of vessels. Omer Rava Yitzchok, Omer Rava Baskel Yotza Baskel Omerlem, Rishonim kolim and kelim. I mean, Balshetzer was killed because he actually drank from the Klei Migdosh, from the vessels of the Migdosh. Vatem shonim bem, and you're doing the same thing. You're repeating it. So what shonim does mean different. It means repetition. You're repeating the mistake. And what's the reason why Vashti was killed? Exactly as the Gemara said before, because they benefited from the vessels of it. Then it says V'yein Malchus Rav. The wine was just flowing over there. The wine of the kingdom was abundant. Amar Rav Malamish Kolechad Hishkeu Yad Shegodli Menu Bishonim Yidis. Each person drank wine that was more aged than he was. So if you show up, you're 80 years old, they had wine even beyond 80. That was the vintage. Hashtia Kadosa Inones. They drank, there was no problems. Nobody became ill. There was no Mai Kados. Amar Rav Chonon Mishum Rameir Kados Shel Torah. Meaning they gave wine similar to what we find in the Beis HaMikdash. Ma'ad dos Torah, what's the law of the Torah? Achila merub mishti, on the Mizbeach, what do you have? You sacrificed korbanos, and you had libations. Volume-wise, what was greater? The consumption of the animal or the consumption of wine? The food is more than the wine, than the drink. Similarly, there was more food than drink. That's kados, similar to the law of the Torah. That's the reason why they get drunk. Person eats sufficiently, so he drinks less. Ein onis, what do you mean ein onis? Omer ablozo. But how could people not get drunk? What about if you're used to the wine? It's a wine you're used to, so the body is used to processing it. It doesn't affect the person negatively. Omer ablozo, they imported wine from all 127 provinces that each person received his own wine. So if you came from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, they brought him from Oshkosh. Okay? And if you came from, where's it, Kenya? Where's he from? Right? They had to pull that out of some, whatever it is, some pit in the jungle. Okay? Yaimididoso, what does it mean? Lasus gritzon ish, to do the will of each individual. Who's ish? Omer Rava lasus gritzon Mordechai v'Haman. Mordechai, where do you find Mordechai? It's called ish, tichsiv, ish Yudi. Right? Ish Yudi, or you should not be Haman, ish tzarva, he's also called ish. Gam Vashti Hamalka also mishte noshim. She also made a party for the women. And where did she make it? Beis HaMalchus. In the palace of what? Of Achashverosh. Zmar says, I mean, if the queen makes it, she makes it in her own residence. Why did she make it where the men were? She should have made it separate where the women were. Omer Ravish named the Dvar Averim Niskaven. Both Haman, Achshverosh and his wife, they were up to no good over here. They wanted to do Dvar Averim. What was that? Hainu Damri Inchi, as people say, Iu Bekori V'itza Bebutzonik. He speaks about the large gourds, and she speaks about the small gourds. I'm not exactly sure. Rashi says they meant for Niyuf, that they were going to have all kinds of licentiousness going on over there. It was going to be a sexual orgy over there. That's what they were going to carry on. As they say, he with the big gourds, she with the little. How does he interpret that?
Small pumpkins.
Yeah, but do you have a footnote on that? What? Yeah, instead of why is he the big and she the small? I'm not sure. Yeah. I understand that. Okay, that's the way they spoke about this. Then it says, B'yom hashvi katov lev hayayin hamelch b'yad. It was on the 7th day of the party, and it says his heart was uplifted because of wine. Someone says, Atu arashta lo tav libuma. He was drinking the whole time, right? They drank continuously. So why only on the 7th day was it katov lev hamelch b'yayin? Amar Rava. Yom Shvi Shabbos or It was Shabbos. The 7th day was Shabbos. It wasn't just the 7th day of the party. It was Shabbos. She Yisrael Ochlim V'Shosin. Jews also. We eat and we drink on Shabbos. But what? Maschilim b'divrei Torah or b'divrei sishpochos. We begin speaking Torah and words of praise to Hashem. Aval ovdi kachavim. You know what they do? She'ochlim V'Shosin. They also eat and drink. E maschil el b'divrei tiflus. They begin with words of worthlessness. What do you think they discussed? What do you think the topic of discussion was? Halol Omros, Madius knows. Which women are more beautiful? The Medes? Halol Omri Parsius knows. The other would brag. No, the Persians are more beautiful women. Whose women are more beautiful? They had all kinds of people at the banquet. Achashverosh said to all his ministers, Klishani Mishtamishvo Eno Lo Madoiv Lo Parsi. He says, the vessel I use is not a Mede, is not a Persian. Ela Kazdoi, she's a Kasdian. Ritzonchim Larosa, would you like to see her beauty? Amrulo, Ain, definitely. Ubavachti Aruma, we want to see it in its real light. She has to come naked. Yeah, this is what they want it. Why? We'll see. It's my pleasure. Shebemido Shodem Modidin. Modid Ba Modin Lo. And the way you measure out something, that's the way they do. It means whatever goes around comes around. Malami Choisavashti Arisha Mivia Benos Yisrael Mafshita Narumos. Hear this? She would have Jewish women who would be her attendants, and they would have to serve her in a naked state to disgrace them. Hear this? This is the way she treated them. Vose Melochas to work on Shabbos. Shabbos, you arrive unclothed. That's the way you serve on Shabbos. So therefore, it's Shabbos. Kedov Leva Melech Yom HaShvi. Shabbos, your husband is going to demand you come naked. Hainu Dechsiv Achad Vorem Ho'eler. It says after this event, Kisho Chamas HaMelech Achshverosh Zoches Vashti Ve'es Asher Ososo. He remembered what she had done. Ve'es Asher Nigzo Leo. What does that mean? And what she did and what was decreed against her. Kshem She'osa Kach Nigzo Leo. Hear this? He realized then the Mida Keneged Mida. Only when he sobered up did he realize why she was killed. She was killed because he demanded she should come in a naked state because what she did to the Jewish women. At the end, what was the story? She didn't want. So when was she killed? She was killed on Shabbos. The day that she made the Jewish women work in a naked state. V'timone Vashti, she refused to come. Michti Pritzosavoy. You hear this? You hear what level these people were? She's the queen. So she refused to come. What do you mean she refused? She's a prutza. She's a slut. Why did she refuse? She's the queen. You understand? Even the queen, this is not beneath her dignity, to come in a naked state to display her nakedness to all the members of all the provinces, the ministers of his province. As we said earlier, both of them, their whole intent was to create this depraved setting. The men and the women, they're going to engage in who knows what over there. My time of the wasi. So why, if she was a prutza, why did she come? Omer of Yossi, that that she what? All of a sudden she broke out with leprosy. Yeah. But Masisa Tona bo Gavriel Voslozonov. Gavriel came and he attached a little appendage at the base of her spine. She had like a little tail sticking out. Okay? It's interesting. Why I was thinking, why a tail? You know, there's an argument in the Gemara in Eruvin when it says originally Hashem created Adam and Chava, where they created as Siamese twins. There was a man, full man created and a woman, and they were fused together at the back. And then Hashem divided. When he says he made Chava, he just divided them, and she became independent. Or when it says he took the Tzela, he took us. Adam was created, he had an appendage at the base of his spine, like a tail. He removed that appendage and he built that into a woman. Right? Howard remembers the Gemara, right? Like he learned it a day ago. Okay? That's the Zonav. So I was thinking, why did God create the woman? To be Eza Kenegdo. To assist him to what? To be a better person. Here, Hashem says, you know something, you got a tail. You understand? He attached a tail to her. What does that say? What were you supposed to be? You were supposed to be something to assist him to be decent. You know better than he is, you know? That's the tail. That's what the tail represents. Meaning you remain the tail.
She's more like an animal as opposed to like a
Yeah, that you could say without what I'm saying. Right? I'm just saying, though, but what does the zon of what does it represent? It represents what the woman should have been. She was made into a human. She remained the zon of. She remained the tail. Right? She didn't assist him. No, because the woman is supposed to be the Ezer.
He also is supposed to be.
No, firstly, she's the one who refused to come. She had to be killed because Esther had to replace her. So, okay. No, that's the reason. So he had to remain intact. He had to remain whole.
He was no better than her.
No, of course, he was worse. He's the murderer. He's the murderer. Vayitzuf HaMelech Mod. He became enraged. When she refused to come, he became enraged. The Gemara says, why? I mean, she could have said, you know something? I can't come. I'm not feeling well. Why he come enraged? Why was he inflamed to such a degree? You know what she said to him? He says, the stable keeper of my grandfather, when he would drink 1,000 cups of wine, he didn't get drunk. And this individual, he drinks a little wine, he becomes totally like a maniac, totally unstable. Right? So, you know what I mean? This is already, you're talking about, how does a guy pride himself? You know, they have the Nathan the hot dog eating contest. Oh. How many hot dogs? You understand? I mean, so how many beers could you down within an hour before your intestines burst? You know what I mean? You know, this is his manhood. My stable keeper, 1,000, he could keep it down. It's not affected. You drink a little wine and already you're totally destabilized. You know something? That's already, I will not live that down. And that's why he killed her. You understand what we're talking about? Miyad v'chamosa borobo. He started to burn. Like in Israel, they say, you know, in Hebrew. Albert took special upon at the Hebrew University. Hu bo'er. He's burning. In Hebrew, man Hebrew. He's burning. Chamosa borabo. Now, you know where they got it from. He was seething. So the king said to the Hura Chacham, that's us. Man Chacham, Rabbanon, Hura Chachamim, the Rabbanon, Yodu Itim. And they were experts in times. Shiodum L'Abe Shonim L'Kvor Chadoshim. They can make all the mathematical calculations to determine the month. Should they be a full month? Not when to make a leap year, one not to make. You have to be geniuses. Oma Lo Dainu Li. I want advice. How should I judge her? I want you people to tell me what to do with her. Omru said, he said to themselves, Hechinabit, what should we do? Name or Katlo, if we're going to tell her she deserves to be killed, Lamocha Posag Lechamre, Uboy Luminon, tomorrow he'll become sober up and he's going to come after us. Why did you advise me to kill my wife? Nebelu Shavko, if we say leave or be, Komazazlu Malchuse, they can say, you know something? You're disgracing my kingdom. You people deserve to die. As they say, saying, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's no way out. So what was the third approach? From the day the Beis Mikdash was destroyed and we were exiled, not that wisdom, that sage wisdom we've lost. We don't have the ability to assess and evaluate that properly, the death penalty. Zil Gabi Amunimov. You know, saying you want that? Go to Amunimov. The Yasi Buchtayu Kechamr the Yasi Adurdayu. Amunimov was never exiled. It's like the wine that's still sitting on its sediment. So therefore, they have the clarity. They could advise you what to do. You know, the Gemara says that when Nebuchadnezzar wanted to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, he was afraid because he knew anybody ever started with the Jews. He was a historian. He did his homework. Anybody who ever started with the Jews was destroyed. So Nebuchadnezzar, as great, as powerful he was afraid to start up with the Jews. So he went to consult with our cousins. Who are our cousins? Ammon and Moab. Moab said, you go get them. You have nothing to worry about. If they would be observant and committed to God, you have to worry. They don't behave like Jews. God is going to throw them to the dogs. So it says, our good cousins, Ammon and Moab. Yeah? So now we're paying back. You know something? Go to Ammon and Moab, let them advise you. They were never exiled. You know, let there be repercussions. You know, he'll sober up. Who's he going to blame that his wife that he was killed? He'll go after Ammon and Moab. The Chsiv, where do we see that they were tranquil? That they were never dislocated? The Chsiv Shanan Moab Menurov. He was settled from his youth. The Shoketu al Shmorov, and he's settled on his sediments. V'lo hurak mikli al kli. And he wasn't poured, you know, this is like what we call, like you have virgin soil. This is like the wine always, from the time it started to ferment, it was never removed from the sediment, so the process was never, ever disrupted. And therefore the taste is the original, and the fragrance has not dissipated whatsoever. Miyad, immediately, V'akorav who is closest, his intimate cabinet, his advisors, Hakoravelov, Karshana, Sheser, Admoso, Tarshish. Omrab Levi kol posuk zal shum korbanos. This posuk, everyone why it's recorded, it's to allude to korbanos. Different types of korbanos. What is that? Nemar. Karshana, Ormalche Esheres L'nei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribon Shalom, Krum Hikribu L'fonecha Korim, B'nei Shana. It was bring prosecution on them. They said to Hashem, these people, did they bring korbanos like your children? Keder sheikrivu yishol l'fanecha, sheisar klum ikrivu l'fanecha shtei torin. Did they bring the two doves to you, the turtle doves? Admasa klum bonu l'fanecha mizbach adama. Did they build for you this earthen mizbeach? Tarshish klum shimshu l'fanecha b'bid yekuna. Did they officiate before you with big dekuna? The chsiv. How do we know Tarshish is referring to the vestments? Now, the Kohen wore the breastplate, which had colored stones. What were some of the names of the stones? Tarshish, Vishoam, Vyoshpe. Those were the names of the stones that were the colored stones. It's interesting just to hear this. You know, the Gemara, I once mentioned the name of the Shaloh, a beautiful Shaloh. Shaloh Kodesh says, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, the Gemara says they asked Rabbi Akiva, what's the question they asked? It says, Moshe Rabbeinu officiated for 7 days in the Mishkan. The 8th day, Aaron took over. So it says, what did he wear when he officiated? Moshe. So the Gemara says he wore a white tunic. So what exactly is it about? So he explains it this way to Shalom. What did Aaron wear? He had to wear the vestment, 8 vestments. Otherwise, he's not qualified to do the avodah. So he explains it this way. What was the original vestment that was meant to be the vestment to serve Hashem? The body. The body was the vestment. What happened? So why isn't that vestment an appropriate vestment? Because when Adam ate of the tree of Eitz Hadas, he putrefied the vestment. So therefore, you need a new vestment. So that's what you need, what we call big dekuna. That's l'chavadu teferis. So what's for glory and for honor? The 8 vestments. Moshe Rabbeinu, his physicality was pure. Meaning the putrefaction of Adam had no relevance to Moshe. It says he radiated. He was an embodiment of holiness. He didn't need the vestment. Didn't need it. So there he could officiate. His body is the vestment. He only needed the tunic to cover up his nakedness. But what was the vestment? His own being was the vestment. That's how the Shalal Kodesh explains the Gemara. So I want to say it like this. They said, Tarshish, did they service you? Did they, with Big Day Kuna, they're goyim. What are we talking Big Day Kuna? The answer is, even if they bring a carbon, what are they? They represent putrefaction. We have the real vestments. When we serve you in the most appropriate way. With the Big Day Kuna. That's what the Malachim was saying to Hashem. You following what I'm saying? Howard, if you're not getting excited, that means you don't get it. You get it. Where you get it? In the neck? Okay. I get it. It says meris klum yusu bedam lefanecha. It says the stirring of the blood, because the blood coagulates. You can't sprinkle it. Did they stir the blood before you? Marsana klum yusu b'mnochos. When you make the mincha, it's oil and flour. You have to knead it. B'muchan. What's muchan? Muchan we'll see is haman. Klum hechinu shulchan. Did they prepare a table? We had the showbread on the table. Vayomem b'muchan. What if you list? You see the ministers. They were listed in order of what? Of status. Muchan's last. But who was the first one to speak up? Memuchan. V'yom memuchan. Tar muchan ze haman. V'lom nikra shmo memuchan. Why is it referred to as memuchan, not as haman? Shemuchan l'puranos. Because ultimately he's destined to be hanged. That's why he's called muchan. Just a question of time. Ultimately, you go into the gallows. Omer Avkana mikan shehedjit kofitz berosh. I mean, he's listed as the fifth in order, and yet he's the first one to offer his what? His advice. So what do we see? A person who's a commoner, he jumps straight to the head. Leos kol ish sora beveso. What did he say? He says we have to send out letters after she was killed that each person has to be the dominant. He has to lord over his family. Yet that was the letter Achashverosh sent out after Vashti was killed. He says you have to send out letters that each man is the king in his own household. The wife has no right to open her mouth in the presence of her husband. Talk today's society, right? Omar Rava. There was no such thing as divorce lawyers in those days. It was like in India. You know, you get some gasoline, put it on, and then ignite her. That's the end of the story.
Honor killing.
That's what they do in India, even today. Ilmole, listen to Ilmole Goris Yishonos L'Nishtar Mishnah Shel Yisrael Sarad Poli. They send out later letters that every Jew should be annihilated at a certain date. Do you think the Goy could contain himself? You think he's going to wait for that date? He would kill us. So why didn't they kill us earlier? They knew in advance, months in earlier, a year before, that at that certain day we have to be annihilated. You know why? They didn't take it seriously, because just as the first letter we sent out, each man should lord over his household. The man must be insane. Who would think differently? The answer is, we can't take this seriously. This is like some kind of hoax. Maybe the second letter is also a hoax. So therefore, the Goyim, they waited till the last day. They wouldn't act. They were afraid to act. Because maybe he didn't mean exactly what he said. Otherwise, they're going to have the repercussion of the government. So because of the first letters they sent out, which they saw as insanity, therefore they didn't give any seriousness to the second letters. This is interesting because we have it later. Could be this is, the Gemara says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whenever he gives a makkah, there's always a full code of the makkah. He always gives the remedy before the makkah. The makkah was, we were terrified for a number of years because there was going to be the day we're going to be annihilated. But Hashem gave the refuah. By having the first letter sent out, Jews didn't know how the Goyim reacted, how they processed the first letters. That's the refuah. The first letters were sent, which actually nullified the value of the second letters. So that's the refuah code of the makkah. That was the remedy before the illness. Okay? Oma mai hai deshadolon lios kolishar bebeso. When they received the first letters, listen to this. What is this all about? That each man shall lord over his house. Pshita. It's understood. Afil korcha bevese pardashta have. Even the guy who has some kind of a bald-headed person, which was a derogatory term, even this nobody, he's also the king in his house. He's telling us we should be the lord over our houses. What is he telling us? So what did he do? So he was advised he should send out agents to gather all the women to the palace, and he'll try them out. Which one will be the queen? Omar Rebbe Maidichsiv called Orum Yaseh Bidas, a person who's cunning does things intelligently. Uksil, but a fool, a hedonist, Yifros Ivelis. He spreads his evil. Called Orum Yaseh Bidas David. Now, what happened with David when he became old? We read, it's one of the Haftorahs. He was cold, he needed warmth. You know what it means? So every man lined up offering his daughter to become the wife of David, to provide that accommodation. By Achashverosh, every man hid his daughter. Why? Because they knew. What is he going to do? He's going to try them out and throw them away like trash. So by David, where he only needed to find which one, each man, it was a privilege. My daughter should accommodate David HaMelech. But Achashverosh, what they understood what the nature of the man was, the man is worse than a monster animal. They all hid their daughters. What happened? Second. Zachashverosh. Uchsil Yifros Zachashverosh. V'yavker melch pekidim. Command Havale Brato. Itmaramine. Anybody had a daughter? He hid her. He hid the daughter from these agents. These agents were searching out for women. Ishu Hudi Hoye B'Shish Nabiro. Right? There was an Ishu Hudi. What does the word Yehudi mean? Does it mean he came from the Shevet Yehuda, or did he come from Binyamin? Yemini means Binyamin. So was he from Yehuda, Binyamin? That's the first question. Ish Yemini, my Komer. What exactly is the person saying? Ili Chusa Kosi Liasi V'Alad Binyamin. If we want to speak about his pedigree, so we say we should trace him back. That's Yemini. Elo Maishno Hani. Maishna, so what does it refer to as? Ishu Hudi, Tono Kulan Al Shmo. Every reference is referring to himself in terms of what he was. Al Shmo, Nikra Ben Yoyer. He's called Ben Yoyer. Why is he called Ben Yoyer? Ben Shehir, a name shall Yisro B'Tfiloso. Through his tefillah, he illuminated the eyes of Klal Yisrael through his tefillah. You see, interesting. You know, he led them to how to correct all the wrong. You understand? Who said they're going to be receptive? They're going to be receptive to his advice. So it was through his tefillah, Heri Neim B'Tfiloso. Through his tefillah, he illuminated their eyes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have accepted him. You know, it's interesting. The Gemara says in Brachos that the story of Eliyahu Har Carmel. You know, Har Carmel. You went up to the spa on top of Har Carmel, right? So the whole story with the Viabal. You know, he built an altar, and he made a tefillah. He says, Aneni Hashem Aneni. Answer me, God, answer me. So the Gemara says, what do you have to say Aneni twice? Aneni Hashem. Eliyahu. Aneni, that a fire should come from heaven and consume the altar and everything, which what happened. Aneni shlo yomru maisik shofim. They could attribute it to sorcery. Who said it's God? So let them recognize it for what it is. That was the second tefillah. Aneni, first, the fire should come from heaven. And Aneni, that they should see it correctly, that it's not sorcery, but it's you. Same thing over here. It's Ben Yor, Sheher Eineim Shel Yisro B'Tfiloso. He illuminated their eyes through his tefillah. So what do you have to mispal? We're saying Hashemeinu Hashem Alechem Neshuva. You mispal that we should all do tshuva. What is that? That Hashem should give us the clarity, the understanding to recognize where we're failing. That's Her Eineim B'Tfiloso. Ben Shimi, Ben Sheshama, El Tfiloso. Hashem, listen to his tefillah. Ben Kish, listen to this. Shehikish al Shari Shamayim v'niftchulo. He banged on the, does it say dofak? Hikish. On the gates of Rachmim, and they were opened for him. Korele Yehudi. They refer to him as Ish Yehudi. Alma Yehudi Kosi. Yehudi, he comes from tribe Yehuda. Korele Yemini. Al Binyamin Kosi. Does he come from Yehuda? Does he come from Sheva Binyamin? Omer Avdachem Mordechai Muchta Bini Musa Hoyo. He was what? What does that mean? He was Muchta. He was adorned with all kinds of titles. Yeah. Omer Rabbi Rechon, Omer Rabbi Yeshua and Levi, Ovim Binyamin. From the paternal side, he came from Binyamin. The Imam Yehuda. But from the maternal side, he was from Yehuda, from David HaMelech. Rabbana Mishpos Mizgorazu Bezu. The families, they were actually arguing, who is he? Does he come from us? Yeah. Mishpos Omeres Ano Gorim Dimisyalid Mordechai lokatli David. Hear this? They were upset. Initially, Mordechai would not bow. So what precipitated the decree of Lahashim Labit? Mordechai, he was obstinate. He wouldn't bow. Because he knows something. David, if he would have killed Shimei, because he came from Shimei ben Gera, there wouldn't be a Mordechai. So you people are at fault. And the other ones blamed the other one. Shaul, Haman is Amalek. Because Shaul didn't kill Agag, it's your fault. So each family was blaming the other one. You know something? It's your fault. It's the wife, it's like the wife's sister. It's your son. It's not your son. It's your son also. Why? Gorem dimsel Mordechai lokatli Dav l'shimei geru u'mishpachas binyamin over minoi kosi. Rav Omar Knesset Yisrael Omra li'idoch Yisa. Ruma asal Yehudi mashilim liyemini ma'asal Yehuda lokatli. The other ways they were Friday. The second one is accusation-wise. Ma'asal Yehudi mashilim liyemini ma'asal Yehudi lokotlo David l'shimei. They didn't kill Shimei. The Yisrael minei Mordechai. The mikni lei. Bei Haman, he incited Haman. O Mashilim no Yemini. Look what Binyamin did for me. Lokatli Shola Agog. Disyoli Bnei Haman. Dimitzarli Yisrael. So therefore, everybody was blaming both Binyamin and Dov, and both. Look what you created over here. Rav Yochanan La'olim Binyamin Kosi. Factually came from Shei Binyamin. My Korele Yehudi. This very Al Shum Shekofar Ba'avodah Zorah. It's because he rejected idolatry. Anybody who rejects idolatry, what's his classification? Nikra Yehudi. Now you know why Jews are called Yehudi throughout. All Jews are called Yehudi. Because Jews, they went to the stake not to be idolaters. Anybody who's kofir b'avodah zarah is called Yehudi. The chsiv, isi gurvin yudoyin, how we refer to in Daniel, when all of us were in exile in Bavel, we're called gurvin yudoyin. Why? Because we're not idolaters. The Jews are known as monotheists, right? That's it. So now you understand why Jews are always called Yud, right? Yemach Shemam, the Germans, Jude. They had to wear armbands that said Yud. So that was a badge of distinction. To be continued.